One of the things that we said that we would do at the end of our last trip is to give you a bit of a roundup. We are now 3 months on.
It's about 3 months since we got back.
And we've put together some thoughts and we'd like to share them with you.
So one of the things we wanted to talk about was the wildlife that we saw whilst we were away. And starting in Orkney.
Yeah, you see, it was so long ago. Can I remember? Starting in Orkney. Oh, seals.
We saw the most incredible seals in Orkney.
Probably about 4 or 5 different places.
Yeah.
We just sat and watched. I mean, I think the ones at Bursay were incredible. Very difficult to photograph because we were quite a long way out of the bay.
And we didn't want to disturb them too much. We could have probably got a little bit closer, but we might have disturbed them, so then it would have been pointless.
We sat at, was it Scale Bay?
Scale Bay, we saw so many.
Just remarkable. Really, really great to see them. And then as we continued on our travels,
I think Germany was incredible for wildlife.
it was
Probably the next place where we saw the best wildlife. So
I mean, there was the Nabu Reserve, UNESCO
the UNESCO
Biosphere, and
where we saw
we saw a beaver lodge.
beaver lodges, a beaver lodge.
Unfortunately, we didn't see any beavers. They weren't daft enough to come out because it was quite chilly.
And we saw the red squirrels in that park that day.
Brilliant.
That was incredible.
They were so angry. I mean, who knew the noise that red squirrels made? It was like...
And their tails banging against the tree was so funny. They were obviously protecting their nest, but they were very angry with us.
And then after we'd been to Salzburg, we spent some time in Merzig and the Wolf's Park at Merzig.
Hearing them howl was amazing.
It was so ethereal. Absolutely brilliant.
Yeah.
Start recording. Start recording. Oh, you are recording. Okay. Didn't give us a blink.
The next category is the top countries. This is a little bit difficult because I don't really want to leave anywhere out because everywhere was...
It was remarkable.
Brilliant.
I mean, we could, we did do a whole video on Orkney. We could probably go back to Orkney and do a whole video on Orkney. Orkney was absolutely incredible, but this isn't the Orkney video.
Yeah.
You'll have to go back and watch that because Orkney was just...
Oh, we did about 4 in 2 weeks. It was just incredible.
It really was. Anyway,
so much.
This isn't about Orkney. So, I mean, North Holland was really interesting.
Yeah.
And then from North Holland we went up into Denmark.
Denmark is very beautiful and we definitely need to go back to Denmark and explore more.
I mean, Denmark was a bit of it was a bit of an off-the-cuff edition. We hadn't planned on going to Denmark, but it was like, well, we're here, so we might as well.
Yeah.
So that was a bit of a nip in, but it was great.
And we, as I say, it was literally a border hop and we need to go back and see more.
Germany, we did a lot of Germany.
We did. Germany is very much, for me, a story of two halves. The nature in Germany is really fabulous. Parts of Germany are incredible. And parts of Germany I couldn't have hated more.
Yeah, I think that I think the thing that struck me was the difference as you came across from the sort of the Western Germany into the Eastern Germany, and there were stark differences.
Real culture shock.
And some of it really didn't feel comfortable, and I think that's really unfair. And then there was Czechia.
And we spent quite a lot of time in Czechia. It's a bit of a strange one because it's hard to get under the skin of Czechia.
I think it's one of those places that's changed so many times in terms of its political outlook and its social positioning. And I think the people there were very warm and very welcoming, but also slightly guarded. But yeah, no, enjoyed. I would quite like to go a bit further on into
go into Slovakia,
Slovenia, etc. But that's thoughts for the future. There's so many places.
Totally. It's impossible, isn't it?
And then I think on our list we've got France, and we didn't really spend a lot of time in France this time.
But France for van life is the best. Absolutely love France for van life. It's
And
so
the-
easy.
The sort of Alsace region and the Christmas markets, some of those towns are just outstanding.
They're so pretty.
They're made for Christmas.
They really are, yes. It's almost like this is where Christmas comes from. It's
I think that's our country highlights.
our favourite 5 places from the trip.
There were so many.
Really?
I mean, there were just so many. But I think there were a couple that stood out for me.
Mm-hmm.
And the first of those is Lubeck. What an incredible place. The queen of the Hanseatic cities. And just so much history. There's so much history surrounding the trade routes that come out of the top end of Germany. And the Salt Road and the marzipan and... Oh, yeah, it was a great place.
Yeah, all the things that ended up in Lubeck that meant that it's now famous for making marzipan. It's just incredible.
And then the other one that stood out for me was Český Krumlov.
You really
And
love the puppet theatre.
The puppet theatre.
The puppet museum.
I mean, if you watch the video, you can see me make a complete of myself using the marionette theatre that they have on site. And the chap that was there, I mean, he made it. It's been not quite his life's work, but 20 odd years of collecting puppets and celebrating puppetry in Czechia. It's just wonderful. It was a great place.
Such a lovely person as well. He was so nice.
And yeah, so those are 2.
Okay, and then for me, Nancy was...
I mean, Nancy was amazing. We don't really like French cities, but
No, but it was a really pretty city.
it was a pretty city. It was accessible, and I mean, for Christmas, the light show was incredible. Thoroughly enjoyed that. The Christmas markets were small enough to be friendly, but large enough to be there. If you know what I mean.
But even outside of Christmas, I can imagine it's really a nice city to visit. It felt very safe.
Yeah, no, I like
Very
Nancy.
human scale. Nice city.
And the other one, I mean, talking about human scale, there was Český Budějovice, and we went to Český Budějovice to go to the Budvar brewery. I mean, that was an incredible trip. I've done many brewery tours, both through my working and recreational life. But that was great. But the Christmas market in Český Budějovice was a complete surprise. Really fun.
And going back to the factory tour, being able to stand and watch that bottling thing. I don't even know what the word is.
I've spent so many years of my life watching bottling plants.
It was fascinating.
And it always is fascinating. It's a wonderful thing. And you see all those little soldiers marching along. Little rattle, 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 rattle.
I could have stood there for days watching that and never got bored.
But talking about beer...
Beer.
Oh, we weren't talking about beer, but now we are. We went to Bavaria, or Bavaria, as I do like to call it. Bavaria. And Klostrandex.
Yeah.
And that was a total surprise. I mean, we were pitching around looking for somewhere to stay, and this place popped up, and we thought, well, you know, it wasn't the cheapest, but when you got there, I mean, the little air was perfectly acceptable, and you walk across the road and you walk up the hill, and it wasn't that huge a hill, and their little Christmas market, and probably the best
Glühwein. Oh, that Glühwein was incredible.
And if you go back and watch the video, you will see there are instructions on how to make the Klostrandex Glühwein, but just caramelising the sugar cube and the brandy, it was just amazing.
And then the views over the Alps.
But the little Christmas market, and the Nativity. It was a wonderful place. The views over the Alps were stunning.
Yeah.
From the monastery, the church at the top. It was just a wonderful place. And then to go and have possibly the biggest beer I've ever drunk. I mean, we'd never been to Beer Fest or Munich or anything like that, but this thing was just so heavy. It was so heavy. And you'd never argue with a German girl, I'll tell you. Crikey. They can carry 12 of those at a time.
I could barely lift one.
15 kilos of sloppy beer slopping around. It's just an amazing place. Yes, the Klostrandex. And I think possibly Klostrandex might actually be the one place. I mean, there were so many, weren't there? You know, we did New Year in Bruges.
We always love Bruges.
But Bruges is
special.
A special place.
Yeah, right, on that side. If you were going to go to somewhere and just one of those places that we visited, I think it would be Klostrandex.
Yeah, I think so. And one of the people we met there was telling us about there's a brewery trail that go around these sort of monastery breweries, and that would be an interesting thing to do. Might not be terribly good for the health.
No, perhaps not. Although you probably wouldn't have a litre of beer at each one.
So moving on to the next category, which was museums. Now, I have to say, we didn't visit a huge number of museums. I mean, partly because a lot of them were closed or the weather wasn't really on it for us. But there were some real notable ones. And actually, the one that jumps out at me was a complete accident. We were driving heading towards Prague.
We were too early for the campsite.
Much too early. And just driving along the road, and Google Maps was being a pain in the bum.
As per.
And I went, well, we've got time, let's just turn right here. And so we turned right here, and we followed the road along, and we were driving, and the road started to bend upwards through a village in a valley, and we passed a building, and we got halfway up the hill, and I said, what was that sign? Dvořák's birth house. I bet it could be closed. So we turned round, and we went and parked, and it did look closed.
It really did.
Dvořák's birth house.
We kept going until we got to the door.
We
found
wandered
the
in.
entrance.
Found the entrance. The door was terribly stiff, and also gave the impression that it was closed because you couldn't open it. And then they came and opened the door, and what an amazing place! I knew that Dvořák was born in Czechoslovakia, but that was about as much as I knew. I mean, we all know the New World Symphony, and it's just one of those things. And my favourite one, which is, it's a bloody long way up hill, for loaf of bread.
The museum was really very well done.
It was fabulous.
I went in knowing absolutely nothing, and I came out feeling like I really knew the person as a person, not just as a composer.
It was really good.
I really understood his life, so
yeah, no,
I would spectacular.
I mean, for me, that was my number one.
Yeah.
My father left me with a love of storytelling, and my music became my voice.
Coming in a very close second, though, was the long drive. So we came up through North Holland, and at the top of North Holland, as you come across into Friesland, there is the dike, the Aflersdijk, which is a 32-kilometre road, which in its own right, it's a long drive, and as far as drive's concerned, is relatively boring.
It was just a stretch of motorway. It was not as exciting as I thought it might be.
But as you come across the the top end of it. Towards the end, there is a museum on the right-hand side, and it just says Visitor Centre. 2 hours?
Probably, yes.
Really, really interesting understanding how they took control of the water
And why.
And the Zierderzee as it was. It was just really interesting.
Really interesting. If you're really interested in engineering, civil engineering, and water management,
water management and bioecology, it was a very interesting place.
Very interesting. Worth visiting.
So next there were a couple of sort of serious museums. The first serious museum, again, was a bit of an accident. It was looking at the map and going, oh,
we're here.
Well, I've heard of that place. And so we went to Colditz.
I didn't think I'd like it. It was never on my list of places to go.
I think the fascinating thing about Colditz, and the thing that I didn't realise, is that building had been used for so many purposes. Primary two really was as a mental hospital, and there's no nice way of putting that really. And then obviously the prisoner of war for officers and gentlemen. And of course the officers and gentlemen, old Bean, we spent all of our time trying to escape. And the old Jerry there, get on with it, chaps. It was really interesting.
It was very interesting.
But they'd done it very well.
It was very, very well done. You really got a sense of the place through all of its phases. So as a castle, as a aristocratic home, that's what I'm trying to say.
It was one of those.
And then as a psychiatric hospital, and then as the prisoner of war camp. And yeah, you definitely got a sense of the place.
You really did.
In all of its...
And those ballet chaps, as they tried to fly the glider off the roof, they must have been absolutely mental. Definitely worth a visit.
Flying a glider off the roof of there, I mean, how they thought they were going to succeed in that and not die.
Seriously big cushions.
Honestly, yes.
Spanish reference there. Cushions. Go look it up. Okay, and then we also went to the In Flanders Fields.
It's one of my favourites. I'll keep going back to there because every time you go back, you have a different experience.
It was very much. We visited there, I think, about 20 odd years ago, and then to go and see it again, they changed the museum completely, and the emphasis was very much more on, from the Belgian perspective of World War One, and I think the realisation of how much of Belgium was affected, sort of basically all of it.
Yeah, and the impact it had on the civilian population, which I don't think we showed particularly well in our video. One of the things that I forgot to mention when talking about it is when you go in, you get a wristband, and your wristband gives you a person. In fact, it gives you two people, and you choose the first person, and then the second person is randomly allocated to you, and they are people that were in Ypres at the beginning of the war, and it goes through their experience. You get, I think, 3 points at which you see what happened to them.
Yeah, sadly, both of mine didn't quite get to the end.
Both of mine, I think, did.
Would definitely recommend it. And the chip shop across the road is a bit strange, but they weren't bad chips.
They were good chips.
And gluten-free sausage.
And gluten-free sausage was yum.
From museums into activities.
Yes. Maybe better described as experiences.
The number one experience has to be the Krampus. I mean, the whole reason for the trip was built around going to Salzburg to visit the Krampus. I mean, Salzburg is home of Krampus. And we didn't actually see the Krampus in Salzburg. We saw it in a wonderful little village just outside. But it was a wonderful experience.
Fantastic. It was packed, but for good reason.
It was one big jump scare.
Yes.
I mean, the whole thing. It really was one big jump scare.
But funny with it. It wasn't scary. It was funny.
It was fun. The whole thing was fun.
Yeah.
I mean, go find a Krampus.
You don't necessarily have to go to the big ones. There are lots. Every town has their own Krampus.
Look out for the beasts. So the next one is the spas. The German spas.
Oh my goodness!
They're just amazing. And we probably spent quite a bit on spas
Because we went to quite a few.
In relative terms, they're not expensive. As we came back, we'd enjoyed it so much. So I had to look at one local to us in Staffordshire. It's like £230 a person for half a day.
And these were £30 or £40 a person for half a day.
I really don't have a problem with textile free because everybody's textile free, and you just need to get over yourselves.
We're all the same. We're all the same.
Going to places where they've got 5 or 6 different pools of differing temperatures, where you can swim outside, whatever the weather, in a lovely warm pool, where you can go in a whirlpool, where you can sit on air jets, and it's just great. And then the saunas, most of them had at least 4 or 5
different temperatures, different humidities. You could pick what suited you. So if you've not been before, then you probably don't want to go into the 90-degree ones because
that's really hot.
They're really hot.
But we also did another one, and I kind of included it in the spas, and that was in Germany, and we went to the salt manufacturer or the salt factory. And this is a chap who basically built a tower of salt out of Himalayan rock salt. That was another one of the kind of happenstance moments where we were looking for somewhere to stay, and this sounds interesting. And we ended up doing a brine inhalation treatment where you basically sit in a room and breathe brine for
with salty air
an hour, quite meditative. And that was an incredible experience too. So
and another lovely person.
And he was
such a nice man.
So nice. And
I'm going back again. We have to say, of the experiences, going to Orkney and clambering into those burial chambers, literally crawling around graves, a bit weird, but it's incredible. What a place.
Yeah, it was.
Really, everyone who goes there says exactly the same thing. I don't think anyone goes there and goes, I didn't really like Orkney. It wasn't much to see. It was a bit boring. No, Orkney is incredible. Do not fail to go to Orkney at some point.
No, it was...
it was amazing.
It was superb.
I definitely want to try and do some more grave crawling when we're in Ireland. Let's see if we can find some. Oh, whoops. Bit of a spoiler there.
Yeah. Is that after we've done some grave crawling in northern Spain?
No, not graves. No, not grave crawling. That's cave.
Is that cave dwelling?
Cave dwelling.
Cave painting.
Yes.
Yeah. Oh, right. Okay. Oh. Yeah, northern Spain. Oh, that's next. Right. Well, I think there's something we've missed.
Go on.
In the middle of all of these activities, we went to quite a few Christmas markets. And we're not going to list them, and we're not going to say which ones we thought were best, because actually they all had their own thing.
Their own charm.
I think that from our perspective, though, I don't know whether you agree with me, that the ones that we enjoyed the most were the small town ones.
Definitely the little ones like Klosterandex, and the ones you just sort of stumble upon.
Yeah, Ettlingen.
They
were just nice because it wasn't all the same. It's like going to Christmas markets in the UK, isn't it? Whether you go to Manchester, you go to Birmingham, you go to London, and it's the same. Everywhere you go, people selling the same products. It's formulaic.
Yeah.
Whereas the independent ones, the little community
ones are special.
They were special.
And it's nice to put something back into the community while you're there as well.
The other thing that we did, and we're going to pop it up on the screen because we're not going to go through a great long list. So we've done a list of the costs. So this is coming up on the screen now.
The big note that we've noticed was we spent a lot of money on food. We do love going to a supermarket. We'll try and do a little bit more footage of supermarkets on our next trip.
I think also December was expensive in terms of camping because we did stay on campsites for virtually the whole of December.
Yeah.
Whereas the rest of the camping activities, I would say a good 40% were in free airs or
free
stops. So I think the next bit now is 2026.
Yes, very exciting plans. Our first trip is going to be, we've got a ferry booked. Our ferry leaves on the 12th of April, which is about 3 weeks, and it goes from Portsmouth to Bilbao, and then we are going to spend some time in northern Spain.
Northern Spain's really interesting, and it feels a bit like the path not often followed by people, and it looks so interesting. I mean, coming along that sort of Atlantic coast, and you've got the Asturias, which is it's the dairy basket of Spain. It's green and pleasant land.
There's a reason for that.
And then you've got Galicia, and Galicia's a bit of a step back in time. It was 20 years ago we lived in Spain. We only lived in Spain very briefly, but we lived there long enough to build a house and then realised that we couldn't make a living there. But we went on a coach trip.
And it was in about April 2006 that we went on this coach trip.
It was, and it was quite a long coach trip because our house was in the top end of the Almeria province, about an hour and a half, 2 hours from Granada. Galicia was incredible.
Galicia's beautiful.
We'd like to get down into Portugal, see if we can get as far as Porto.
I'd like to get to Porto.
I quite like Porto. I
wonder why.
You've made some bookings, haven't you?
We've got 3 activities booked for the first 3 days.
And they're a bit cavey, I think.
They're very cavey. Some very interesting prehistoric cave paintings. Up until very recently, the oldest cave paintings in the world were found in this area, so we're going to go and see those, and then we're going to go along and see where we get to.
Yeah. So we're going to continue practicing the idea that we should stop. We're not very good at stopping.
Oh, how I love.
So I think overall it was about 6 weeks.
We've got 6 weeks in Spain / Portugal.
And then bizarrely we've booked a ferry out of Bilbao going to Rosslare.
Going back to Ireland.
We are going to spend then...
About a month. We've got about a month.
We need to be back in the UK. We're booked in Vans in the Valley.
On the 3rd of July.
On the 3rd of July. So we come back, I think, a couple of days before that from Ireland across to Holyhead. Looking forward to that. And that's all the plans that we've got at the moment for 2026.
Because when we get back, we are going to do some major changes to Claude.
One of the things that we identified while we were away was that we have an issue with condensation in the van, and we've done a little bit of digging around, and we've realised that when the van was converted, which wasn't by us, they failed to put any closed foam insulation in the roof, just put plastic bottle insulation, and that has caused an issue with condensation. So consequently we need to take the ceiling out and insulate him properly, and they also didn't insulate the floor, which means that your feet get freezing. So we're going to have some time doing that, and at the same time we also want to sell the house. Back end of 2026 from July onwards is life-changing times, and we will undoubtedly keep you on board with what happens. So I think that probably wraps up the wrap-up.
Yes, I think so.
The thing I'd like to say is, from both of us, a hearty thank you to those of you who watch along. If you're watching along, then you're obviously finding it of interest. One thing I would ask is, please do leave a comment, and please do share, because if you're enjoying it, your friends might enjoy it.
And if you like, subscribe, or leave a comment, it means other people who watch the same things as you watch, who like the same interests as you, will get shown our videos.
Follow the algo. Thanks for being with us. Thanks for coming along, and I hope you're looking forward as much as we are to the next trip. So for now, that's us.
That's it. Bye.
Ciao.
Ciao.